I want to start off today's stream with a little chat session and something that has been kind of weighing on me a little bit, and I just want to get off my chest. Now, this stems from a TikTok that I posted last week. I had saw a tweet. Granted, let's back up. Let's talk about Arc Raiders for a minute, because it's no what's the word? It's no secret that recently Arc Raiders has been losing quite a bit of players. Quite a bit. It's been kind of floating under 100,000 players for about a week and a half now. And there could be multiple reasons why that is. I'm not trying to say that there's one main reason why that could be. There's multiple factors that go into why games start to lose player counts. But I was interested in the opinions of players, like I typically am. That's like my whole thing with bringing people the news and just asking questions about how people feel about their favorite shooter games. And so I posted a TikTok last week where I saw a tweet asking what would bring those players who have left back to the game. And I gave an opinion, and it was just an opinion. I didn't expect people to agree, you know what I mean? An opinion is just that, an opinion. Like, it's just something that I thought of that can still use a little bit more work. Granted, I will say Embark has taken steps to work on this already, which in this TikTok I was talking about free kits and potentially finding ways to put a limit on free kits. Now, I posted this TikTok, and naturally, you know, the reading, the comprehension levels, the reading levels, are very much at a all-time low, right? There were a bunch of people in that comment section that completely misconstrued what I said, put words in my mouth, and simply were just saying things that I did not say. Again, everybody is more than welcome to have an opinion, and that's perfectly fine. For the most part, the comments were pretty positive. Like, people were just saying how they felt without like misconstruing what I was saying. And I was even in the comments, you know, agreeing with some of some people's opinions and, you know, saying their ideas would be cool. But there were a few comments in there that really made me, I don't want to say turn on the PvE Arc Raiders community, but the PvE only people are getting very delusional, very weird. And granted, I have always been a friendly first player in Arc Raiders. I never like go out of my way to kill people. I enjoy playing friendly, but I also enjoy shooting my gun, like whether I have to or not. Like, it's a PvPvE game. Like, people shoot their guns for multiple reasons. Like, people enjoy PvP. Like, people are, you know, defending themselves against PvP. And I feel like we have just lost the plot when it comes to talking about, some of us have lost the plot. Not all of us, right? The PvE people specifically. So I want to watch that video, and I want to back up a little bit. I just want to back up and go through the history of what Embark themselves, the developer themselves, have said about this game, because I feel like a lot of people just have had their feelings hurt in the game by rats, and now just because somebody shoots you, that means they're all rats, which of course is not the case. So I'm gonna open up TikTok right now. Let's watch the video, okay? And just listen to what I said. I don't even think what I said was bad. Like, I simply just said, let's maybe put a little bit of a limit on free kits, because, you know, everybody's so dependent on free kits still. Like, granted, things have changed, and I will piggyback off that, and I'll go into some more detail. But I just feel like that comment section went a little bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And let's watch this video. This is the video that I posted right here. So we're gonna watch it, and then I just want to go into the comment section and show just some of the very delusional comments. And I have the articles that have developer statements in them to kind of back up that these people have lost their minds. So let's start by watching the video.
The elephant in the room needs to be...
Let me pause. Let me stop.
The elephant in the room needs...
Let me back it up all the way. And I'm going to just let you listen, and I'm going to listen.
The elephant in the room needs to be addressed. While Arc Raiders is still a very successful game, it is slowly but surely losing players. And we need to have a discussion on what needs to happen in order to get those players back on the game. What does Arc Raiders need right now in order to bring players back? Granted, the Riven Tides update is coming, and while we know we're getting a new map, we still don't know what kind of new content we're going to get, but we know that it's coming. And while a new map every month is very...
And one of the main complaints that people say about Arc Raiders that have, you know, turned them away from the game is that they've done all the quests and stuff. There's no new content and there's nothing to do, which is valid. I mean, which is valid. But again, I've said in the past, Arc Raiders is a very noob friendly, very casual extraction shooter, right? And the people who have, burned through all the content are either streamers, right, whose sole job is to play video games, or just somebody, I guess, who just finishes games really quickly. Most of the player base still has not finished all of the content. So I do want to reiterate that, and I've said that already in the past. It is a more casual extraction shooter, and the thing that have driven away, players is the fact that they feel like they've done everything and there's nothing to do.
Unrealistic. I do have an idea on something that can be addressed, and that is the rework of the free kit. Despite the reputation that Arc Raiders currently has of having Weenie Hut Junior lobbies where nobody likes to engage in PvP, we actually got a statistical report this week that says over 30% of players do actually engage in PvP.
And we have an article. We have numbers to back that up. Literally, they came out with the numbers last week, and we'll review that article again to see what it actually says.
Now, I do think it's time to actually start putting a little bit more effort in the PvP experience. And it is
granted, and this is where I feel like it got misconstrued. I just said maybe we can make fighting other people a little bit fun. That wasn't me advocating for PvP. I was just saying, we can make it a little bit more fun. And I still feel like people are too dependent on free kits.
Super unfulfilling when everybody is just running around with gear fear, afraid to lose their stuff, and are using a free kit almost every game. There needs to be some type of limit or some type of rework placed on free kits that makes the PvP experience a little bit more rewarding. We currently have plenty of PvE in the game. I think PvE is good, and we're getting the new big arc with the Riven Tides update. So now, what can be done about the PvP experience that'll make the game feel whole and feel a lot more fun again? But you let me know what you think. Besides new content, what else do you think needs to be addressed in order to bring players back to Arc Raiders? And be sure to follow me, Topaz TV, to keep up with our latest updates and game discussions for your favorite FPS and shooter games. The elephant...
That's all I said. I was just saying, everybody's using free kits, and it's just that's kind of boring. I wasn't trying to say... I'm not advocating for rats or anything like that. I was just saying maybe a little bit of a limit on free kits. Now, I will say they've already made efforts to kind of wean people off of free kits. Number one, they added a shit ton of arc that you can't really fight with a free kit. And they changed the matchmaking where if you have a free kit, you're more likely to spawn in a late raid. And by then, most players have found, pretty good loot. So number one, you're not going to find much loot, and they're going to have found better guns. So you having a free kit, you might not get much out of that. So those are already pretty good steps forward. I still think they can limit it a little bit more, but again, granted, those are great changes, and I think those are good for now. If they don't touch the free kit, that's fine. I'm cool with it. They've already made efforts in kind of combating that, which is great. But let's go into the comment section of this video, because I I just really feel like the plot got way lost. So there were some comments that, people were just expressing their opinion. And that's fine. But let's go back to that article really quick. So the article with the numbers about the player base and what aspects of the game people are enjoying, right? So Arc Raider Studio contacted by crime scientists. Literally, scientists are studying Arc Raiders just because it's such a profound social experiment. And granted, I can see why, because some of these people, these PvE people specifically, are crazy. So like crime scientists are studying this, which is kind of crazy. But the devs say only 30% of players focus on PvP, which is true. So we'll go down and we'll see the actual split. So everything is scarier alone, and winning a fight is more fun with friends. True. So Grandal, my bad. I don't be knowing how to say these people's names. He is one of the behind the scenes developers at the game, and he says the numbers show that 30% of Arc Raiders players actively focus on PvP, which is very small. But guess what's also small? Another 30% focus on PvE. So it's basically an equal split, and we're both sides are the minority. And the remaining 40% are somewhere in the middle, which means most of the player base is playing the game how it's supposed to be played. No matter what the circumstances are. People in this comment section were trying to say, oh, they may engage in PvP, but not because they want to. Like, who gives a shit? They're shooting their guns. Most of the player base are playing the game how it's intended to be played. They're engaging with the PvE aspect of the game, which is what it is. Okay? Now, I will acknowledge further that roughly 20% of players have never knocked out a single raider, while nearly 50% have fewer than 10 knockouts, which is great, fantastic. And I feel like I'm one of those people. I'm a friendly player. I don't actively go out seeking PvP when I don't have to. So the data just does show that people in this game typically are a little bit more friendly, which is fine. And I've never denied that. Like, it's a casual shooter. Like, if it's a casual shooter game, you're not going to have, much killing and dealing, which is fine, right? So let's go back to this comment section. Now, there's a few comments in here where I'm just like, some people are just really living in Delulu land, okay? So, like I said, most of these comments are fairly tame, fairly fair. There was a couple of comments in here that really made me go, what the fuck are you talking about, right? And what does this say? I think you're missing the entire gripe most PvE players have. It's no fun to be ratted by PvP players when you're just vibing and killing Arc. Ratting still happens in friendly lobbies, and it's supposed to, because I think what people misconstrue is that, yes, the CEO in that GameSpeed article from last year in December, the CEO, who I think is, very different from the game developers, the people who actually make the game, the CEO of Embark, he did say something along the lines of, from his perspective, the game is supposed to be more cooperative versus shoot on sight, which is fine. But I think people have taken that and just ran so far away with it that they think that in a game where you're constantly supposed to feel fear, that you're supposed to just be safe all the time. And Embark has come out and said that you're not supposed to feel safe all the time. Like, that was literally the point of including PvP in the game. Even if it was an afterthought, they've said it. They said it in the documentary, and they've said it in multiple interviews since. The game would have simply been boring. Like, with just killing robots. So they've said that already. You know what I mean? And I quite frankly, I think it's just time for us to stop complaining about rats, because unless they're cheating, unless they're straight up cheating, like they got wall hacks, they got some type of cheat, what can Embark do about rats? Yeah, your feelings might be hurt, but what can they do about that? Like, they can't do anything about that. There's a bunch of people in this comment section just making up stuff too. And this says, this one killed me, because it says PvP is at 30%. That's because all the PvE players are gone or leaving the game, which at this point, I'm so tired of, and this is coming from a friendly player, okay? I'm so tired of these people. Like, I am so tired of these Weenie Hut Jr. people complaining. If they leaving, great. That means less whining we'll have to keep hearing. PvP is at 30%. That's because all the PvE players are gone or leaving the game. So yeah, it would be why 30% do PvP. Most of the PvP players get their loot from the PvE players. Most PvP players get their loot from the PvE players, which is a lie. So if the PvE guys leave, the PvP guys have to run free kits. Okay, we know. See, people are just making shit up. They're just talking out their ass in these comments. Like, we know that matchmaking is aggression based. So that means you're getting put with players who play the same way as you do. If PvE players are playing against other PvP players, that means they're getting their loot from other PvP players. Newsflash. They're not getting anything from PvE players. Like, what does a PvE player have that a PvP player needs? Like, let's be for real. PvE players are not coming in with kits that a PvP player, they're not coming in with things that a PvP player would need in order to maximize staying alive. So what are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, just saying shit. This one I saw earlier today, right? Arc Raiders is not very successful anymore, which is a lie. It still is very successful. It has lost 90% of its player base due to the heavy PvP and rats in the game, which that's not the reason, because we just looked at the article. Most players are engaging in both aspects of the game, PvE and PvP, and having a good time doing it, right? When this game came out, developers said it was a PvE game, hence that's why they removed the daily task that had to do with dealing damage to raiders. They never said it was a PvE game. They said in the beginning they were developing it as a PvE game, but then they realized that the game was not good. And then after that, they have been saying that because of that, the game is based all around suspense and expecting the unexpected. You're not supposed to feel 100% comfy and cozy in Arc Raiders. Thanks to the PvP players, this game lost many, many, many players. Only way they get players back is if they remove PvP permanently or make the weapons do so little damage that PvP is impossible to do. What the fuck are you even talking about? Like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like, what does that even mean? Delulu, PvE only area. Don't do anything. Leave it how it is. Just add new content. I agree with that. I agree. Hybrid. Most people are hybrid. They like both. They engage in both. And then, of course, people misconstruing what I said. To make a video saying that because less than half of the player base is playing a certain game mode means that they should embrace that game mode. Contradictory. First of all, this is not even a complete sentence. Let's start with that. And that's not what I said. That is not remotely close to what I said. Let me know in the comments. But yeah, some of these people are insane. And then what does it say? It needs a PvE mode, a PvP mode, and the current mode it has. The current mode is PvE. The game is PvPvE. It's already doing that. Like, what are these people talking about? Like, can somebody help me? Am I crazy? It's very simple. Just give the people what they ask for. PvE players wants a PvE mode and give PvP players a a mode where they can go into a match with other PvP players who are kitted. That's what's already happening, though. The current mode we have can be a third option with PvP and PvE. Also, consistency wouldn't hurt. Embark has been very inconsistent with this game. Maybe buff the shields, add weapons that are better than the current ones, add utility items that are worth it, add more to the current maps. They're so bland. I mean, this is all valid. This is valid. Ban people who spew racist, sexist, and homophobic rhetoric. Yes, of course. You have to make the people who play your game feel safe. I do agree. We don't condone no racism, no sexism, no homophobia. We don't condone none of that. But it all kind of goes back to some of these people are crazy. And I've seen a lot of videos of people talking about this, and they just get crucified, or they get called, oh, so you want to play like a rat. Which, first of all, let's talk about rats, right? The definition of what a rat is has definitely become something that it's not. And I saw this tweet that says Arc, and it has, of course, the what opinion will have you like this meme. And this says Arc Raiders PvE players turned rat into a meaningless, I wouldn't call it a slur. That's going to oops. I wouldn't call it a slur. That's going a little too far for any PvP. But yes, they've turned this word into something where if you decide to shoot your gun, all of a sudden you're a rat. It used to mean backstabbing, extract camping, or low-risk scavenging. Now it just means anyone who shoots me unannounced. Exactly. And I've seen multiple clips where a player will straight up tell somebody, I'm not friendly. And they're being honest. They're being upfront. They're saying, I'm not friendly. I want to fight. And then they get killed when they had plenty of time. And the players even give them time to get ready to fight or to run away, and then they get killed, and then they call them a rat. But they told you that they weren't friendly. So how are they a rat? Like the definition of rat has changed into something for specifically the PvE people that it's not even what it means anymore, which is this is too much. This is too much. You know what I mean? The PvE people, I'm good off the PvE people. I'm not gonna lie. Let's also take a look at this article that I also found about, this one came out a few weeks ago. And this one is called Players Shouldn't Feel Fully Safe in Arc Raiders, even in friendly lobbies. Even in friendly lobbies. Do you hear that? Even in friendly lobbies. You should never have your guard down. You should never feel like you're going to make it out the raid alive 100% of the time. Whether you're fighting the Arc, whether you're on the lookout for other players, you just got to be on your toes at all times. And let's go down. He's Braga, one of the developers at Arc Raiders, was asked. He said, I asked Braga, and by the way, this article is by Austin Wood, and this is from Games Radar. He asked Braga, who's one of the developers, I asked Braga about his thoughts on the emergence of so-called Care Bear lobbies where many players default to and even expect friendliness towards other raiders. Even in those lobbies, I hope they don't feel fully safe. I guess that's the real quote here. Players shouldn't feel fully safe. There's always Arc in their way. We never promise that they will be on full friendly lobbies. And humans, right? They can surprise you. They can backstab you or abuse your generosity. There's all that we want to keep existing in this game. So the developers are not on your side, PvP crazies. Like, they're not on your side. They're not picking up what you are putting down, okay? So I just had to get that off my chest. I just had to rant a little bit. I just had to get all that off my chest because I am tired of that extreme and extremely loud little slice of people who have completely misconstrued what this game is about. And to be honest, I just don't even want to hear, I don't want to hear nothing from them anymore. And like I said, this is coming from a person who plays the game friendly. I don't go out of my way looking to shoot nobody. I'm not a rat. I avoid PvP as much as possible. But if I have to do it, I will. And that's why I've been playing Marathon. That's why and guess what? One factor, I can tell you, one factor of why the player count has gone down is yes. It's not that the PvE players have left. The PvP players have left. And they're playing Marathon. Because I can go into Marathon and shoot my gun and not feel bad about it. Hello? Like, hello? So the PvE players are still there. The PvE players are still there. The PvP players, I guarantee you, the PvP players are the one that left, okay? So to say that people are leaving the game because of PvP, no. That's no. The PvP players have gone to play Marathon. They've gone back to COD. COD's numbers have gone up. They're going back to places where they can shoot their guns and not feel bad about it, period. So sound off in the comments. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I just had to get that off my chest. I'm done. I'm not done with Arc Raiders. I love Arc Raiders. I will be playing Arc Raiders forever. I'm just cool off of it until the Ribbon Ties update comes out in a couple weeks. And I'm no longer entertaining. I'm not entertaining the Care Bear people. I'm sorry. I'm not entertaining the Weenie Hut Jr. PvE people. If you want to have valid discourse about the game as a whole and what the game needs, we can talk about that. I'm not listening to the overly sensitive Weenie Hut Jr. PvE people no more. So, with that being said, sound off in the comments, I guess. We gonna go ahead. We gonna play Marathon.